Alright folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host Josh, and this is part 16 of our Let's Play of 12 Hours to Die. And folks, I'm on the clock here. I'm trying to finish this game before I go and travel for the holiday season here. Because I want to finish this, I don't want to take a big break and then come back to do one last episode where I've forgotten everything. So, might be a little longer. You know, you may have noticed last year we're a little bit longer than usual. Just try to get this thing done. I want to see it through. Last time, when we last left off, we had finished Reina's trial, accused Cecile, and then, lo and behold, as we try to escape, we find out that Edmund is alive, somehow, miraculously. And the warden's kind of PO'd about that. He says, alright, we're going to resume an inquisition in an hour. We did a little bit of investigating. Probably the most important thing we found, well, I guess two things, really, right? One of the things we found was, where is it? The security footage here, which shows Reina moving after she's supposedly dead by Cecile, which obviously brings up a whole manner of questions. And then we've also got this note from the teacher that, like, hey, we've got to find the mastermind. That's how we can basically end this thing, is by exposing them. And so here we are about to start the Inquisition, and Tomoko has just laid out for us that, like, hey, we could just say it's Cecile and move on with our lives, but might be better to find the real truth. Yeah. So here we go. Sis, are you watching me? We're gonna be fine. I'm going to be fine, even though I'm bleeding out. All relevant evidence has been added to the inventory. Okay, it's time to revisit Sis's murder. The last Inquisition concluded that Cecile killed her in the sound booth. Warren was even going to execute Cecile, which has its own ramifications there if Cecile then is not the person that actually did it. But a few things just don't add up. One of two things is happening here. Either Cecile really is somehow the killer, or the mastermind is hiding the truth. But which is it? This is very reminiscent of a specific part of one of the Danganronpa games that I won't spoil which one in case you have not played it, but I like what we're going with here. Our lives are riding on this Inquisition's outcome. Only the truth will set us free! Alright, let's do it. I'm excited. Let's get to the bottom of this thing. Just kidding. Meanwhile. So that's the gist of it. He had like a southern thing. I see. That explains a few things. I'm glad y'all are safe, at least. I was there, and I still can't believe it happened. I always forget what exactly the tone here is. I am happy to hear Freda and the others are safe, but our students are still being held in the school. Is there anything the police can do? We have orders to be on standby. Standby? So you're not gonna do anything? It's all we can do. Well, you guys are sitting on your asses. My niece, our students are dying in there. I know! I'm sorry, I get a little angry sometimes. I don't like this any more than you do, but right now there's nothing we can do. I want to rush in and save them, but doing so would put the hostages at risk. If only this was Moscow, then you could rush in. Oh god, it took me a second. I really hate you. Now is not the time for puns! I'm sorry, it's a nervous habit. Tomoko, please be safe. Sir, I have something to report. It's those bagels you ordered. They never came. Let's, once again, go over the basics of the Inquisition. I don't think this is necessary. This Inquisition will continue until you discover the real culprit or until time runs out. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the killer. Oh, and by the by, for this Inquisition, the killer will have to be decided by a united vote. A United vote? In order for your votes to count, 4 of the 5 of you must be in complete agreement. Ratchet up the difficulty. Think of it as punishment for the rude interruption earlier. So everyone besides the killer must agree in order for the vote to count, or in the case of last time, everyone but Billy. So without further ado, let the Inquisition begin. This is such a waste of time. We already know I killed her. Whatever, we'll go over the case one last time. After this, my guilt will be made crystal clear. She still insists that she's the killer. If she really is the killer, then how will she explain that piece of evidence? I assume we're talking about the camera of Reina getting up. Or maybe well, okay, well, no, yeah, the security footage is the thing. That's gotta be the thing. After the bomb announcement... Right, I have to click down here. I went up to the sound booth with Reina. That's true. There, we found and disarmed the bomb. That, I believe, is true. Then you slammed Reina against the window, killing her. Didn't die, it seems, but yeah. I don't hear any contradictions in their testimonies. If we can change the flow of discussion, maybe a contradiction will reveal itself. I'd like to learn about press points. You trademarking it, eh? Alright. Sure, let's talk about press points. Statements in yellow text are called press points. Unlike weak points, press points do not require evidence to activate. When you click on a press point, Tomoko will chime in and redirect the flow of discussion. Recommend you find every press point before anything else. Okay, alright. Sort of like pressing in the Ace Attorney games. Seems like. Okay, after the bomb announcement, I went up to the sound booth with Reina. There we found and disarmed the bomb. We slammed Reina against the window, killing her. Yeah! Hang on! Now hold on! So Reina died in the sound booth. Does that mean you moved her body too? No. We already went over that. Did we? Someone else moved her body. It doesn't change the fact that I killed her. That's probably the bit that we used the security footage on. Yep, okay. Alright. Time to show everyone what... Yep, nope, repeat the statement. So Reina died in the sound booth, blah, blah, blah. No, someone else moved her body. Doesn't change the fact that I killed her. Well, I mean, what do you have to say about this? Okay, alright. Well, screw you. Crap, that wasn't it. I mean, that's why this game. All right, let's save a new slot here, just to be careful here. Okay, does that mean you moved her body too? No, we already went over that. Someone else moved her body. We might use the security footage there. None of the rest of this is relevant, so I just must have been in the wrong place. Yeah, okay, all right. Hold on. Are you really sure Reina's body was moved? What are you saying? I killed her in the sound booth, then her body was found backstage. How can you say she wasn't moved? Are you saying she's lying about where she killed Reina? Of course not! I already confessed to Reina's murder. Why would I lie now? I didn't say you were lying. Everyone, have a look at this. This footage was taken from a hidden camera in the gym. How did you get this? It's complicated, but let's just say I hacked into the system. Like the master hacker that I am. Anyway, this is after the bomb announcement. At around 5:20 p.m., Cecile and Reina went to the sound booth. Right. It's off screen, but we know what happened. Then, at 5:40, Cecile ran to the boys' senior locker room with a laptop in hand. And then she left the gym soon after that. Just like what Mocha said. But a few minutes later, at 5:50... Reina! What the... It can't be a disguise either. That's definitely... I don't know if we can say that anything is definitive about this high-quality footage, but sure. As you can see, this proves Reina wasn't moved. She walked backstage by herself. What a twist! Wowie zowie! Thanks for that, Warden. Even Warden's surprised. Then, I didn't kill her? But I felt such bloodlust. Not necessarily. There's no denying that Reina didn't die in the sound booth. However, she could have succumbed to her wounds after arriving backstage. True, but if that's the case, how do you explain her cuts, the weight, and the lighter? Sounds like a lot happened in the last Inquisition. Then maybe she came back to finish off Reina.
When did I have the time to do that?
Well, Ed, what does the footage show?
The only footage after Reina shows Tomoko and Cecile entering the stage. But that was when they discovered the crime scene.
Oh, I see. So we were wrong. CCD. CC didn't kill Ray after all. Well, that was weird. Okay.
It's not too late, Edmund. We can still start the vote and end this farce. I understand how you feel, but stop and think about this. With how much time we have left, we'll be cutting it close if we keep going. But not only that, there's also your condition to consider. The longer you go without proper medical attention, the less likely you'll make it. Is it really worth risking yours and their lives for a verdict that won't change?
This footage is enough to make me doubt you're her killer. I just can't vote while I still have this doubt in my mind. And I can't move on until I've confirmed the killer for myself. I know it's selfish, but everyone, please bear with me for a little while longer. This kid sucks. It wouldn't hurt for you to be a little less selfish. Excuse me. It wouldn't hurt for you to be a little selfish every now and again. Everybody's got to have their special day, Ed. I'm right behind you. This feels like a waste of time, but I'll deal with this for a little while longer. Man, this is so boring. We get it already. The brat has a hero complex.
What about you, Tomoko? I trust Edmund's judgment. If there's still any room for doubt, then we should continue the Inquisition. Fine. I'm completely against this, but if that's how everyone feels, then I'll comply. Thank you. But on one condition. If your health takes a critical turn for the worse, I reserve the right to end the Inquisition immediately. Got that?
I understand. Naturally, we'd end the Inquisition if time becomes an issue, but I guess my health is also a factor. Gotta really watch for how this rebar is digging into my skin. So, once again, we're back to square one.
Not exactly. We didn't have this footage in the last Inquisition. And with this, we can pinpoint exactly when everything happened in the gym.
We can? How?
I remember the body discovery announcement playing at hour 5:50. It was hour 5:50 and the video showed Cecile and me going backstage at 6:10 p.m.
5:50, 6:10. Guys, I don't understand numbers. If we know the time in one format, we can deduce the same time in the other. What? Hour 5:50 and 6:10 p.m. are both the same time, but what's the trick? What? What? I don't know. Okay. Hour 5:50 is it going down, and 6:10 p.m. is it going up. So it's probably subtract. Let's go ahead and say I'm gonna be a little more cheaty this time around. I think subtract. Well, you tell me, Edmund. You already know. Wait, what time? Okay, so it's got to be adding then, right? There's no way it's multiplying or dividing. Okay. If you know the time in one way, then you can figure out the other. Just remember that the real time and the countdown time adds up to 12 hours. Okay. Okay, sure. I'll buy this. For example, at 6 p.m., it would have been exactly hour 6. Oh, yeah, I get it now. You're totally right. Once again, me and Billy, unfortunately on the same page, which means we've been here since 12 a.m.
No, you're thinking 12 p.m.
Right. I always get those confused. All this time talk is giving me a headache. Isn't any of that really important?
It's very important. Thanks to that video, we can build a reliable timeline of events. Alright, so let's review the case using what we know. This should give me a better understanding of the case as well.
Okay. Don't quite know where we're going here. Reina and I found the bomb at hour 6:30. Okay. At hour 6:20, I moved the laptop to the senior boys' locker room. Finally, I left the gym at hour 6:15 and met with Tomoko. Right, that all adds up. Reina entered the stage at hour 6:10, 5 minutes later, which was a few minutes after Cecile left the gym. Right. Then the hour 6 announcement played at exactly hour 6. After that, I met up with Argus on the 2nd floor. Okay. And that's around the time that Reina was killed. That's probably the thing, right? It can't be everything. There's still an event we're missing. So, it's probably the bang that we're missing. Yeah, I would think so. Because, okay, autopsy, this is not going to be relevant. Phone, what does it say on phone? Where are you? There you are. Found the catalog before. It's been modified to show countdown. Plays a message at the end of every hour. Right, okay. I don't think that's relevant here, though. The note's not relevant here. What specifically is on the security footage? Okay, it's nice that they've had this in both the ways this time too. Okay, so Cecile and Reina entered the sound booth at 6:30. Cecile leaves at 6:15. Reina left the sound booth and entered backstage at 6:10. 5:50. They discover the crime scene. When does the bang happen? A few minutes after the hour 6 announcement. Okay, so hour 6:20. Yep. Finally left the gym at 6:15. Met with Tomika. Reina entered the stage around 6:10, which was a few minutes after Cecile left the gym. That's true. The hour 6 announcement played at exactly hour 6. After that, I met up with Argus on the 2nd floor. Yeah, let's just try it. Nope. Okay. I don't get it. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm so dumb. It could be this. And that's around the time right. Oh, this is probably what it actually was. Okay, let's make sure this is the last one though. Yeah, okay. All right. So let's put bang on there. Nope. Weird. That doesn't sound right at all. Okay. Let's go ahead and save. Ha 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 ha. Let's look at these again. We got autopsy, phone, note, security footage, bang. I feel like it has to, because we're not talking about the bang anymore, and that's still a relevant, like, marker of time. A few minutes after the hour 6 announcement, we heard a loud bang. It sounded like metal. Token and Cecile were in the 1st floor hallway. Billy and Argus were in the 2nd floor hallway when they heard it. Okay. 6:20, moved the, yep. Left the gym, met with Tomika. When it entered the stage at 6:10, a few minutes after Cecile left the gym, the hour 6 announcement played at exactly hour 6. That I met up with Argus. Okay, so maybe it's maybe it's that third, the first one that Argus brings up. This one. Nope. Huh. So maybe it's not bang, because the rest of this is right. So are we talking about the phone then? Because it's supposed to give the message. And I can't remember, but it might not have given a message that time. No. Man. Let's look at security footage one more time. Make sure I'm not missing anything there. Alright. Let's line this up exactly. So, yeah, 6:30. Oh, I wish this stayed. Where's the stupid thing? Ah! Security footage. Okay, so it's the 4th from the top. Okay, so at hour 6:30, Cecile and Reina enter the gym, enter the sound booth. That's where they find the bomb. Okay, then it should be at 6:15. I moved the laptop to the senior boys' locker room at hour 6:20. I mean, that's That's slight. Well, no, because that's saying that she left 5 minutes later. Left the gym at hour 6:15. Met with Tomica. That's true. I do wonder if it's the meeting with Tomica that we're using the bang on, though. And then... oh, it might be this. Because it isn't until 20... well, no. Reina left at 6:10, so... Reina entered the stage at hour 6:10, yes. Which was a few minutes after Cecilia left the gym, yes, that's true. The hour 6 announcement played at exactly hour 6. Yes, there's no way to contradict that. After that, I met up with Argus, so... okay, when exactly is the bang? The bang is a few minutes after the hour 6 announcement, so that's true that he did that. And that's around the time Reina was killed. I think this is the thing. Because I think the thing that we're trying to establish is that Reina was killed in a different time than we actually think. Is it the autopsy? Because the autopsy lists the time of death. Let's try that. Because that list says 5:55. There it is. There it is. There it is. There's still one more event we can add to the timeline. Reina's time of death. Assuming we can trust it, but let's assume we can. Her death? That was a tough one. Alright. According to the autopsy, the time of death was 5:55 p.m. 5:55 p.m. translates into... let me... let me look to make sure. Let's look at security footage. So 5:55 p.m. would be 6:05. 5:55 p.m. translates exactly into hour 6:05, which means she died before the hour 6 announcement. 6:05. That means she died shortly after I left the gym. Then, damn it! Sis died before the announcement, but what does this tell us? Okay. 6:05, 5:55, 5:55, 6:05. Finkel and Einhorn and what are we talking about? I'm pretty sure Finkel was not a man in this case. Or was it the other way around? I don't know what we're talking about there. If Reina was killed at hour 6:05, then the killer had to be backstage at the time. But that's impossible! And that means only one thing. What are you talking about? Let me explain. This'll blow everyone's minds. Oh, Billy, I'm ready. Ready for you to blow my mind, bud. That phone battery, Jesus. I do like that it is progressively getting lower. Only Ray went backstage before hour 6:05, right? I don't know that we know that's true, but then she must have killed herself. Okay, but why? Because she knew she would die. She did it so Cece wouldn't be executed. It's all my fault. I drove her to this. Okay, so let's pick on some of those little bits here. Let's try Billy's first. She knew she would die. She did it so Cece would be executed. You saw her wounds. She was covered in cuts and crushed under the weight. Wouldn't she just use the weight? Maybe she was trying to make us think she was tortured? Pretty sure those cuts weren't self-inflicted. Yeah, that seems very right. It's more likely she got them while fighting the killer. Is that an agree point, since it's blue? No, that's impossible. I'm 100% certain she killed herself. She must have. That's weird of you. Alright, Cecile might be onto something. Maybe I can support her argument somehow. Yes. Okay, so this is the Danganronpa thing of... Yep, blue text are called agree points. So, similar, we still use evidence, but unlike it, it's not contradicting, it's supporting. Red is disagree, blue is agree, yellow is press. Okay. Back to the Inquisition. Alright, repeat that. Could you go ahead and repeat that, please? Just for the record. Alright. Pretty sure those cuts weren't self-inflicted. It's more likely she got them while fighting the killer. So we have a microphone stand. Excuse me. We have a microphone stand which is covered in blood. So that could very well be a bit here. I don't really see how ropes is going to factor into this. I don't think lighter is going to factor into this. I don't see how the phone is going to factor in. Gloves I don't think are coming up yet. So I think it's the microphone stand. Yep. Sorry, Billy, but Reina couldn't have been the only one backstage. But she was! Your footage proves no one else besides Ray went backstage. That's true, but this shows otherwise. Oh, come on, Ed! What does a mic stand prove anything? Stop dropping the mic on me!
Tell me, what do you think Reina saw when she went backstage?
What she saw?
She probably saw Edmund lying dead, and maybe her killer. What do you think she would have done then?
Run?
No, she probably would have been really pissed off, maybe even tried to get revenge. If that's the case, she would have picked up the closest weapon, the mic stand.
But hold on, Ray would have been leaking with blood, remember? It's an uncomfortable way of putting that, Billy, but alright. But there's not a single drop of blood in that microphone stand, and there's no way to prove otherwise. You know, Billy, I agree with you.
What? Impossible!
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Guys, it's not that shocking. I make good points sometimes. But I'm glad you're seeing things my way, Ed.
There is no blood on the mic stand.
Anymore. More?
What are you talking about? The mic stand is completely clean. Yet, a luminol test revealed hidden traces of blood.
Luminol?
It's used a lot in crime dramas. You spray it and turn the lights off, then the hidden blood traces begin glowing blue. It's one of the few things that television gets right. Yay for television. That must be what you went up to the science lab for, then.
Though maybe next time you could bring that up sooner. I wanted to create a trap for Billy.
But like you said, Billy, Reina would have been leaking blood. I'm really uncomfortable with that turn of phrase. So, how would she clean the blood off the mic stand? She had nothing to wipe it off with, and even if she tried, more blood would come.
It's still possible, probably.
Really? You still think it's possible? Let me break this down for you with a little thing I call the Cecile wrap. You think that Reina left the sound booth, cut herself, held the mic stand, wiped it down, then set the ladder, cut the rope, holding the weight above her, then somehow disposed of the knife and whatever she used to wipe the mic stand while the weight was still falling, mind you? You're saying she did all of that? Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm kind of impressed you can say all that in one breath. When you say it like that, it does sound very unlikely.
Thank you.
At this point, the only conclusion we can come to is that she was murdered. Yeah.
Sis was murdered, that much is clear. But now we have another problem to tackle. The killer's methods. How did the killer commit this murder? Since she was murdered, the killer had to have gotten in and out of the gym, all without being caught on camera.
And that opens up another can of worms. According to our timeline, Reina entered the stage at hour 6:10, and she died at hour 6:05. Then Tomoko and Cecile discovered the bodies at hour 5:50. The killer had less than 20 minutes to kill Reina and escape the gym. Whoever did all this was one crazy, but how in the world did they get backstage in the first place? Thanks for interrupting, Billy. They couldn't have taken the gym door, otherwise the footage would have shown that.
There are no back entrances and no trapdoors. Okay. This might be where we're going with this, but I don't actually know how the locker rooms connect up to the rest of the gym. Because obviously there's the secret passageway in the wall between two adjacent locker rooms. There's no handles, doors to be pushed in the senior locker room. Oh, but it's just between the two adjacent locker rooms. That's not super helpful for escaping. Okay, never mind. But there are other rooms that connect to the gym. She's right. The killer could have entered the stage from another room without being seen. The killer must have come through this room. I assume we're going on catwalk? Can't be classroom, can't be courtroom, can't be hallway, can't be science lab. It has to be catwalk. The only other way into the gym I can think of is the catwalk. The camera would be unable to see anyone coming in that way.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Then, are you saying the killer did everything from the catwalk? No, that's impossible. Unless the killer had a lot of string and was an accomplished puppeteer, we can only conclude that the killer was on the stage itself.
You know, it's funny how you say the weirdest things with that deadpan expression.
Then you understand how far-fetched it is for the killer to enter via the catwalk. If they did, how did the killer get down from the catwalk to the stage? It's the only way I can think of. So how did the killer accomplish that?
Oh, maybe this is curtain? Maybe this is where curtain comes in, and maybe rope? Catwalk door I don't think is relevant. Well, let's see what we got.
How did the killer get to the stage from the catwalk?
We can rule out jumping. I think that's safe to say. Most people can't survive falling that high. Maybe they used something. Probably gonna click on that, but let's keep going. Or maybe Tomoko was onto something with that string theory. Did we find any string?
I hope you two are joking.
Okay. Yeah, killer had to be on the stage itself, but how? Okay, so let's get here on use something.
What could they have used to come down safely?
Maybe the killer came down the same way as Edmund. No, I don't think that's the case.
This seems a little too risky.
Then maybe they climbed down something? Like the curtain? I think, probably? Or made an elevator?
I'm not even gonna respond to that.
Alright, let's try curtain on climbing down something. That's not crazy. That's not completely outrageous. Nope. Eddie, UK, I don't get it. Could be rope. Could be the rope then. That's not crazy either. Do we have the weight too? Oh god, what's the difference? They're connected. Heavy metal object used to keep object stable. Yeah, let's look at ropes. Goes all the way ceiling. 2 of the ropes are found cut down and piled to the ground. The cut ends were soaked in blood. Okay, so it's probably that then, right? 2. Came down, same as Edmund. Nope, seems a little risky. Climb down using ropes. There we go. Okay. Alright.
Billy, you're onto something.
I knew it! The killer used the weights like an elevator.
No, not that. I'm certain the killer used the stage ropes to climb down.
Seriously? They actually climbed down the ropes? Sounds like somebody pretty athletic. No way.
The ropes go all the way up to the ceiling, so it's possible.
That's insane.
You need some good upper... You need some good upper arm strength.
And some friggin'...
Well, it's definitely plausible.
It's nutty, but it could be done. I'm allergic to nuts.
It's crazy, but we don't have any better explanations. But I wonder why the killer would take such an elaborate path. Unless...
Everyone, show your hands right now.
Our hands?
If the killer climbed down the ropes, their hands should be scratched up or something. Unless, you fool.
You're welcome to check, but it's pointless. The killer would have protected their hands somehow.
Oh, I see, yeah. There was a pair of gloves in the catwalk. They must have used those. Gloves?
So let's see. After climbing down, the killer murdered Reina. They cleaned the microphone stand, set the lighter, and took their knife. All that's left to discuss is the killer's escape route.
Alrighty then.
I feel like this is going to come into play, but I don't see how. The sound booth event also feels like it could come into play, but they would have to walk through the camera, so that doesn't seem likely.
So, how did the killer get out?
They'd have to avoid the camera, right? My first thought is that the killer climbed back up the ropes.
Is that even possible? Yeah, it's possible, but it could take a while, though.
Killer was probably on an adrenaline rush at the time, so yeah.
Okay, it could be possible. Something doesn't feel right. Okay, to avoid the camera. Let's talk about climbed.
Unfortunately, that's not possible. The ropes are too far from the catwalk.
If the killer couldn't get back on the catwalk, then how can they safely get out?
There are no other backstage exits.
Maybe true. I noticed the camera has a blind spot. Interesting. Where? But that locker room is a dead end. It's not a dead end. Okay. Boom.
Was there really a dead end?
I'm not so sure. What are you talking about? Of course there was a dead end. You'd enter the locker room, but the only way out is the way you came in. Normally, that would be true, unless you took the secret door. The what? Feels like that should have been established earlier. You didn't know about the secret doors in the locker rooms? Everybody's talking about the secret doors. What are you talking about? If you push against... Billy, you are really... I mean, either you have done a very poor job at this murder, or you are being seriously implicated right now. Somebody's setting a real trap up for you. If you push against the wall in the back of the shower room, the wall of the adjacent room slides open.
There's one on the girls' side, too. Hold on, I think I would have pushed against it at some point in time. They're only supposed to be unlocked in case of emergencies, but they were unlocked for this game.
How could I resist using such an interesting door? I mean, come on! But were they even unlocked at the time? Oh, you're talking to me? The secret doors were unlocked after the second floor puzzle was solved.
So the killer could have... No, they had to use it.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Really making me look like a criminal. So the killer left the stage, entered the locker room, then slipped through the secret door, and then...
And then...
And then... And then...
It's not so difficult, Billy. The killer did this after passing through the secret door.
Hide! I feel like I'm being tricked. But it's gotta be leaving the gym, right?
Whoever it was that couldn't have hid... Because the only person who could have hid would have been Edmund or Reina, because everyone else meets up soon after that. Let's leave the gym. Yeah, okay. And then they left through the gym door.
Oh, thank God. I was sure it was gonna be something completely bonkers.
What else could it be? After leaving the gym, the killer just resumed their search, or at least an impression of it. Is it possible the killer left the gym while we were in the hall, Tomoko? I think so. The killer most likely peeked outside to make sure the hall was clear. Then they made sure to run quietly so we wouldn't notice.
So it went like this. I mean, so presumably then, unless we're talking something very bonkers, it has to be either Billy or Argus, but certainly leaning Billy. We'll see. Killer entered the catwalk, then climbed down the stage ropes. When they arrived at the stage, they killed Reina. They snuck out of the stage, taking advantage of the camera's blind spot. Then the killer left through the secret door in the boys' locker rooms. After that, they returned to the halls as if nothing happened. I think we can say without a shadow of a doubt that this is the truth behind the killer's actions. Bravo! I'm sure you all feel so very proud of yourselves. Though there's a little something you're forgetting about. What are you talking about? The killer, you dunderheads! Who's the frickin' killer? Alright, bye. Dunderheads? Oh yeah, we still need to figure out who did it. Alright then, it's about time we solve this mystery. You say that, but are we really any closer to finding the killer? He's right. We may have figured out how they did it, but there's no clues as to who did. I can think of one incredibly obvious clue that we have not talked about. Before we go on, there's something we should clarify. What do you mean? The number of killers. How many were there? I thought we agreed there was only one. The killer pushed Edmund off the catwalk, then climbed down, killed Reina. Sure, that is possible, but if that's the case, the killer's actions make no sense. As you may recall, the first rule states as follows. After a murder is committed, the survivors will investigate. I mean, this is going back to way back to my original theory when this happened, which is that I think whoever did this killed or attempted to kill Edmund first. Reina sees it, and then they kill Reina because Reina is a witness. After a murder is committed, the survivors will investigate. A murder. It doesn't state any benefit of killing multiple people. I just love to kill. There'd be a benefit if they killed everyone else. But less than that would only make things harder for them. Then what are you suggesting, Cecile? I'm saying that Reina's murder and Edmund's attempted murder are two separate incidents carried out by two separate killers. Whoa, what? Wait, hold on. What about the timing? Both incidents happened 5 minutes between each other. Are you saying that someone else climbed down?
No, that's impossible.
Then, I don't get it.
It's simple. Reina's killer entered the stage using the secret door in the senior boys' locker room.
I can already tell you why that's wrong. I see, that's how they bypass the cameras. Makes sense. I guess, but that doesn't help us at all. Ray was killed in hour 6:05. Any of us could have used the secret door.
That is true, but this one piece of evidence will narrow down the suspect significantly.
Well, don't just stand there. Show it already.
The note. Earlier today, someone gave this note to Reina. She was to meet this person backstage. And now that I think about it, it also explains why Reina went backstage at all. She must have seen the person who she was meeting with walk backstage, so she followed.
Wait. And we know who she agreed to meet with. She even admitted it in the last Inquisition.
Let me guess. I'm the killer. Is that what you're about to say?
Wait!
I didn't want to bring this up, but I guess I have no choice now. You confessed to writing this note, and there's more.
Well, your lies are really catching up with you, Tomoka.
Tell me, at what time did we meet up? We met in the classroom a few minutes before hour 5. And because of the footage, we know I left the gym at hour 6:15.
Wait a minute, there's a 15-minute gap between Cecile leaving and meeting Tomoka.
Well, Tomoka, care to give us...
Somebody is getting real uppity for an attempted murderer.
Care to give us an explanation? I don't have one. Not a concrete one, at least. Huh?
Hold on, why would Mocha do it?
Why would anyone do it, you...
Isn't it obvious? Who was backstage at the time? Mocha, Ray, and... Ed. Oh, no.
Tomoka, perhaps you mistakenly believed Reina... This is outrageous. This is outrageous! So you killed her for revenge. It makes sense if you look at the evidence. But if that's the case, your actions after the murder make no sense. You could have won earlier in the last Inquisition, yet you went out of your way to indict me. I just can't shake off this doubt. So please, just prove me wrong already.
She's not even reacting.
Don't worry, Cecile. I didn't kill Reina. Like I said before, we met in a classroom. You had no way of knowing which one I was in, so you had to check each one. That can take 15 minutes.
Why is it never easy? They always have to argue to the bitter end. I don't want to believe Tomoka killed Sis. But if she's innocent, then I mean, we have so many ways of disproving what is being said here.
I'm assuming this is going to get up on the bit that the note is written by Reina.
So that settles it. Tomoka's a killer. Yep, agreed. Still don't believe someone like Mocha could do it. She's the only one who could have done it.
Tomoka wrote the note, after all.
Let's talk about the note.
Hang on. I lied about writing the note. Billy also lied about seeing me write it.
Wait, what? Then what did I see?
That's obviously an excuse. If it wasn't you, Tomoka, then who did write it? Was it Edmund, after all?
No.
Maybe it was Billy? Or perhaps Argus? Or are you claiming I wrote it? Or maybe Reina reminded herself to meet herself backstage. Like this would be an interesting bit if we didn't already establish this. If I had to actually look at the tests and see the thing, like. All right, the actual question here is: do I use note or do I use the test, or are the tests even on here? No. Okay, so that's easy then. Tomoka couldn't have written that note because it was Reina. She wrote it.
What?
I was kidding!
Now I'm even more confused.
I know it makes no sense, but it's the truth. This matches my sister's handwriting perfectly. Alright, Cecile, bring it. Edmund, are you really trying to cover for her? No, it's not like that. Then what is it like?
I'll show you a rebuttal, Cecile.
Reina wrote that note? Don't even go there. Tomoka wrote that note, claiming she was lying. That's clearly a desperate excuse.
Okay, so she's assuming I'm covering for Tomoko, but I know I have proof. So I assume we use the tests here? Yep. If you compare the note with Reina's written tests, you'll see they are a perfect match. Even if that really is one of her tests. Tomoko just disguised her handwriting. She still could have gone backstage to kill Reina. Okay, so this is probably the other bit here of what I was thinking before, of why this entire premise is false. She still could have gone backstage to kill Reina. The way we're saying is by using the secret door. The problem is that the secret door is one way, correct? Door has to be pushed open from the senior locker room. I assume this is what we're getting at. Yeah. The secret door was only used to escape. It couldn't have been used to enter the stage, because it can only be opened from the senior boy's side. You mean it's a one-way door? What a crappy emergency door. This school sucks. Good thing Billy... I'm losing my mind reading things that aren't there. Good thing it hasn't been needed yet. I didn't even realize it could only be opened on one side. You should really read the little hints that are in your inventory, Tomoko. They're very helpful. It changes everything. Everything? How come? Don't you get it? The only way the killer could have entered the stage is through the catwalk. That's right. It's the only possibility. I see. Well then, at least that simplifies things. Simple or not, we're still no closer to finding the killer. I think we're actually a decent bit. Not exactly. We now know there's only one possible route the killer could have taken. Yeah, and we already can eliminate a few suspects. Those of us who couldn't have climbed down from the catwalk are... Edmund and Cecile. Right? Billy definitely could, and Argus definitely could, so there has to be these two. And that would be Cecile and myself. Cecile didn't leave the gym until hour 6:15. She wouldn't have enough time to run back up to the 4th floor. And I was unconscious at around the same time. Sure, but what about Tomoko? I can't prove that I didn't. I had 45 minutes to run up to the 4th floor. I guess that's true. So, if the killer had to come through the catwalk, then would that mean Ray's killer came after Ed's? I think at this point, we could disregard the multiple killers angle. Reina was killed at hour 6:05, and Edmund was attacked at hour 6:10. Clearly, Edmund's assailant and Reina's killer are the same person. I agree. I don't think any of us will argue that. Sis's killer is my assailant. That must be the case, but that doesn't explain the other inconsistencies. But wouldn't that mean... Ugh, this makes no frickin' sense! You said it before, CC. The killer only had to kill once. They had no reason to climb down, yet they did. The killer somehow know Edmund wasn't dead? Maybe there was another killer. One that came after Edmund's assault. Wouldn't change anything. We'd still have no idea who that is. Excuse me. Only one killing was needed, yet as far as they knew, they killed twice. This case is making less and less sense every minute. There must be a way to explain the killer's nonsensical actions, but how? So again, I'm fully on board with they killed her to silence her because she saw something. But let's see if we can make that come out here. So there was nothing contradictory, I think, in any of this, so we need to get into some of these. They had no reason to climb down, yet they did. There was no reason, but there's no denying that it happened. It's impossible for Reina to have killed herself. Clearly a killer was backstage with her. Perhaps the killer had no choice but to climb down. That's probably it. No choice. But what is the reason for that? To hide the gloves? I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Let's look at some of these things. Catwalk door. Oh, that's why. They had no choice because of the way the catwalk door. It locks or whatever. The door can only be opened from the hallway. That's why. I mean, that was stupid of them, but okay. That's why. As the killer had no choice. Yes. Nailed it. Got it. That would explain the killer's actions. That has to be it. It's only a theory, but... Edmund? Buddy? It's Edmund. My head. What is this feeling? So sudden and new. Oh, finally remembering some things here. Back at hour 6:15. Who's there? No, stay away. Help! Somebody help! Reina! Let go of me. Let go! The door. Ah! Oh God, no! Not like this! I'm alive? I'm... God, really rude. Edmund? Yeah, okay. So this is all adding up here. Everything's adding up except for the fact that Reina, for whatever reason, went backstage after being attempted murdered by Cecile. That's the only bit I still don't really get. I remember how I died. Well, you didn't die, but okay, sure. Edmund? The killer climbed down the ropes because the door was closed. The catwalk door closed when the killer attacked me. What? No way. You were trapped in there with the killer? I see. That has to be it. The catwalk door can only be opened from the hallway. If it shuts while the killer was still inside, they would have no choice but to climb down. I get that, but why didn't you mention the catwalk door sooner? He couldn't. What do you mean he couldn't? I know it's just a theory, but if you think about it, that's the only way to explain the killer's actions. The killer only had one victim in mind, but they didn't account for the catwalk door. I never forget that door after all the trouble it caused. It must have closed when Edmund struggled against the killer. Naturally, they wouldn't be able to wait for someone to get them out. Otherwise, we'd immediately link them to Edmund's assault. So they had no choice but to climb down. I see. It all makes so much more sense now. The door explains the killer's actions perfectly. But then, that means... Ding dong bing bong, y'all! What now? Just giving a friendly neighborhood reminder. We're now beginning the final hour. Already? Time flies when you're having fun. But I guess for some of you, time crawls when you're about to die. Ha ha ha! Anyway, you should probably stop screwing around and find the killer. Just a suggestion, though. Alright. Well, we need to decide the killer soon with only 1 hour remaining. Seems like as good a spot as any to leave things off for this time. Join me next time for perhaps this time for real? The conclusion? I don't know. We'll find out. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I have been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all next time.